On this week's Full Metal Challenge, it's Russia meets America meets Britain. But whose red, white, and blue will we be saluting?
Welcome to Full Metal Challenge.
The SAS assault course for killer contraptions. Our fairground for cars is this transformed power station on the south coast of England. We've filled it with 9 fun-packed events designed to push vehicles to their limits.
Because the aim of Full Metal Challenge is to seek out the toughest, speediest, most agile and robust warrior vehicle in the whole of the known universe.
The only problem was finding people unhinged enough to build these monster machines and come pay our warped fun fair a visit. We searched the planet for 27 teams of crack drivers and crackpot designers and gave them 1 month and $3,000 to build the ultimate endurance vehicle.
Our crackpot teams have come from all corners of the world, from Chile to China, Iceland to India. All 5 continents have sent representatives to this first ever Olympics for cars.
All they got by way of instruction was the word to build a machine ready for any test they could imagine, and for any insult we might throw at them.
Today, 3 of those teams go to war, knowing that a place in the semi-finals awaits the victor. What they don't know yet is what battle involves. Let's meet them. Representing the UK this week, a team of lifeboat engineers, the Aquaholics from Dorset.
We're the Aquaholics! And the rest of the competition will be out of their depth against our machine, Octopus.
From the United States, a team that feels the need for speed, the Hot Rods from California.
We're the Hot Rods, and we're going to be too hot to handle in our machine, the Double Dub. Yeah!
And finally, the Russian Bears, all the way from Moscow.
We're the Russian Bears! И мы поведемся к нашим чудищам, сибирским монстрам.
Through the course of the day, our newbies will be initiated into a league table of 3 different games. After the 3rd game, the team at the bottom will be sent, tail between their legs, to our chimney of doom. The winning 2 teams will go on to our most violent battle, Car Sumo. Only one will survive. Hot Rods, are you ready?
Oh yeah!
Russian Bears, Vigatove!
Megatove!
Aquaholics, are you ready?
Aye, Captain!
Then let the games begin!
This is Full Metal Challenge's 10-pin. 10 12-foot-high bowling pins. The drivers will try to slam their cars into the pins to win! Go!
First up, we have Jay from the Hot Rods. Now, this is a very strange sort of pivoty machine. How's it going to handle up there?
This contest is absolutely what this machine was designed for.
Really?
Maneuverability, the ability to knock pins down is what we were thinking of when we designed the Double Dub.
Did you have a dream?
We had a dream, a premonition.
Well, let's
Came
see
to
that
us.
dream become reality.
I'm ready.
Good luck. At just over a ton, the Double Dub is the competition's lightest and smallest vehicle. 2 VW Beetle engines provide the power, while an articulated pivot and lever-operated skid brakes give a minute turning circle. Although it's small, it's very nippy, and the Double Dub could be the dark horse of today's competition.
But let's hope the vehicle's petite frame isn't Jay's undoing when he comes face to face with our overweight pins, or that he doesn't slide horribly out of control on our super slippery soap-sudded alley. He gets just 2 chances to decimate as many jumbo pins as he can.
We've never had a strike.
No, we want to get
really
one.
want one.
Yeah.
So do we.
Ready?
Ready? Go!
He might be small, but he's like grease lightning down the alley. Here's where he needs to spin it. Ooh! But he leaves it too late.
He was trying to
flip it. Yeah, we got to get a feel for the surface, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he needs assistance or something.
I think he does too. It looks like what happened is that Jay tried to spin it, but the Double Dub steering just wasn't having any of it. And here's why. The plug's fallen out of their hydraulic steering pump and the fluid's all leaked out. So even though Jay's turning the wheels ain't for turning.
Actually, a little surprised something broke.
Yeah, that was where I said we were bulletproof.
They've put a new plug in and Jay's ready for another run.
But he's got his work cut out with 7 awkwardly split pins. He's going for the ones on the left. And he gets them! It's 7!
Well, that's what we wanted to do the first time.
If you had,
But
I think you could have had a great result.
Oh well.
But
next
it's
time.
mended,
Oh, it's fine.
and you got 7 down, which is pretty. It's not bad.
Really?
It's not bad in
Doesn't
the
feel
scheme of
good.
things. Oh,
Could have got 10.
You could have actually,
The
couldn't
first
you?
time,
Yeah.
Oh well.
Gutted.
Next
Well,
time.
hopefully you've had your hiccups for the day.
I would like to get them out early.
Yeah, exactly. 7's not bad. Up next, we've got the Aquaholics.
Okay, Tony, you guys are the second team to take on 10 pin today. The previous team, the Hot Rods from America, got 7 pins down. You've got 2 runs to do this. You think you're going to get all 10 down?
We'll certainly give it a try.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Have a good run.
Weighing in at just under 3 tons, Octopush looks an unwieldy beast, but looks can be deceptive. 2 3.5-litre engines give a top speed of 100 miles an hour. 8-wheel drive gives unrivaled traction, and independent handbraking locks the wheels and gives a surprisingly tight turning circle. So Octopush could prove to be a slippery character.
And its sheer size could be pretty effective in taking on 10 pin. Even in a dead straight line, they'd knock out a good fistful.
So he's Chief Psycho.
I'm the brains behind the operation.
I'm just young and inexperienced. What's this pedal do?
Tentacles flapping, the big fish is off. And is he off? That's the way to do it! He's got 8-wheel drive and he's not afraid to use it. Shedding tentacles all over the place, it's a textbook spin-out that annihilates a whopping 8 pins. And those last 2 should be nothing more than a formality for this guy. He's heading out to the deep for the second time.
Gonna take him.
Go, Tony! Go on, go on, go on!
Tony.
Awesome!
That's how you do it. Fantastic.
That was a beautiful thing to behold.
Thank you very much.
That was some sweet driving.
Excellent.
There's no shortage of speed and power in this vehicle, is there?
Absolutely not. We've got over 300 horsepower in here, 8 wheels on the ground, 4-wheel steering, fiddle brakes. It's a beast.
This is the course for you.
It is a contender.
Really well done for the Aquaholics. The only way the Russians can do any better is with a strike. Let's see if they can do it.
All right, I'm with Evgeny of the Russian Bears, and he is the 3rd man to take on 10 pin. A strike to win and 10 to tie. So, let's hope he has a good run. My friend, good luck. Start your engine.
At 2.5 tons, the Siberian Monster is a hefty brute powered by a 4.2-litre engine. But with just 125 brake horsepower, this machine isn't about power, it's about strength, with each axle able to support the vehicle's entire weight. Add 4-wheel drive and a shortened wheelbase, and the Siberian Monster could freeze out the competition.
But he's got his work cut out here with that big 10 from the Aquaholics looming large.
When I play bowling,
Yes.
I've done strike 8 times, one by one. Yeah. From the
in a
first,
row?
Yeah, in a row. Yeah.
Strike, strike,
Yeah,
strike.
strike 8 times.
You should be driving.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Green flag.
Don't know what Evgeny's record on the regular bowling alley's like, but he's hitting this one like he means it.
Nice! Oh!
Ooh, no! Unbelievable!
That was truly unlucky. Evgeny does everything right going into those pins, hitting them side on, but they're a lot harder to take down than it looks. And not 1 but 2 of them are determined to stay standing.
And now if Jenny has a nasty split to add to his woes for round 2. Unless there's a miracle, the best he can hope for is to demolish one complete side. Yes!
I particularly like the way that you took out the middle pin with the back end of the vehicle.
Русские медведи, они все ломают, все деревья в лесу.
Russian bears tend to break everything.
Well, may that long continue. It's a brilliant result for the Russian Bears. Let's check out the scores. In FMC, we dole out 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, and no points for failing to finish. So in this game, it's the Aquaholics who prove they're the big fish, coming in first with the handsome 3 points. The Bears chase them into second place with 2, and the diminutive Hot Rods get the diminutive score to match the paltry 1 point. Before today, none of our teams had any idea what they'd been facing. So how did it affect the month the Aquaholics spent putting the Octopush together? As marine engineers, the Aquaholics are used to tackling large projects, but for this challenge, they really pushed the boat out.
One of the features of our machine is very much not a donor vehicle with the top chopped off and rebodied. We've started from the bottom up.
The boys were planning some serious engineering. If all went well, Octopush would have 4 axles, 6 braking systems and 8 wheels. An awful lot to do in just 30 days. With less than 2 days to go, the major mechanics were finished and it was time for a trial run. It seemed like the hard work had paid off, but there was still plenty to do, so the boys toiled on.
We got about 3.5 hours before collection and about 3.5 days worth still to do.
The last few hours of the build were spent disguising Octopush's potential with a deceptive paint job.
Think it looks like tentacles?
Can you see what it is yet?
Looking somewhat like a carnival float, Octopush was ready to stretch its tentacles.
Hey!
So you really built the Octopush pretty much entirely from scratch?
Yeah. Other than the drivetrain, it's all new.
Yeah.
Was there any point in the 30 days when you thought, I really wish we hadn't decided to do it that way?
Yeah.
Every day of it.
All 8 of these wheels are driving, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's sort of 2 cars bolted together.
Yeah.
And how did you all get on as a team? Was it a tight unit?
It was very
Tell
tight.
me.
Had its moments.
It's a big problem with having 3 engineers working on something. They all have their own opinion.
Right. Well, anyway, Aquaholics riding high at the moment, but it could all change when they face bumper cars.
If these guys didn't like using their cars as bowling balls, wait till they have to use them as dodgems. Cause coming up next is bumper cars, smashing into lit up bumpers to score points and racing to get to them before someone else does, or before they smash into you. It'll be here before you know it.
Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge, where the only driving qualification is lunacy.
And the Aquaholics are in the lead because of this. Wow!
Nice!
Yes! Oh, man!
But the Hot Rods have also got 2 cars for the price of 1. And next they're facing bumper cars, a game all about slamming into obstacles to score points. And a game in which driving an ultra-manoeuvrable, super-speedy double-dub might just keep you out of mischief. The concept for the Hot Rods vehicle was an ingenious one.
Okay, to build the double dub, we're starting with 2 Volkswagen Bugs. We're going to cut them in half at the center. We're going to join them together, the back halves, with a steering pivot. It's not quite going to be strong enough, so what we're going to have to do is throw away the body, build a super safe, super strong roll cage that will pivot in the center for the steering motion.
The first bug met its fate, followed swiftly by the second.
The first convergence of the double dub.
Yeah!
What are we going to do tomorrow?
After spending every spare minute they could in the workshop, the Hot Rods were right on schedule, and by day 15, Double Dub was hardly recognisable from the first day's demolition job.
I feel smooth.
The team had based their whole design on manoeuvrability, but it just wasn't as nimble as they'd hoped. The boys seemed to be going round in circles, and the steering was posing more questions than answers. So it was back to the workshop. By the last day, the addition of hydraulic power steering had overcome the manoeuvrability problem, and the hot rods were ready to run rings around the opposition.
VWs aren't exactly renowned for sort of strength, durability, power.
Well, actually, they use them. You don't live in California.
In California.
Yeah.
Now, these are what every dune buggy, you know, and desert vehicle, it's the most common thing for them to use. And the other thing is, the basic Volkswagens were free.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Free is good.
Yeah, free is good.
And I want to ask the driver what it's actually like to drive, because the whole thing pivots.
It does, yeah. Well, it's very easy to steer. It's very difficult to unsteer. There's no caster, no self-correcting. You have to steer in and steer out at the same time.
So it's kind of hard work, because you're doing it all
Extremely
the
hard
time.
work. Yeah, if it was easy, anyone would do it.
Yeah.
Third place at the moment, but we're hoping it's all going to turn around, and we'll find out if it is very soon.
You've all seen bumper cars at an amusement park. Nice little cars going at a low rate of speed with the occasional minor collision. Well, Full Metal Challenge has its own version of bumper cars, and we've got collision, but that's where the similarities end. Tell them why, Kathy.
Well, this is the game where collisions score you points. To be precise, 50 if they hit the short, fat bumpers, 20 if they hit the tall, skinny ones, but only when they're lit up. Hit anything at any other time, and all they're scoring is bruises. But even getting to those bumpers isn't easy, as the surface is slipperier than ice. And once each bumper's been hit, it won't light up again for another 35 seconds. But shh, we haven't told the drivers that. So who will be judged Duke of the Dodgems? Will the superlative speed and manoeuvrability of the Brits beat the nippiness of the teensy Americans? Or will the sheer strength of the Russians keep them all at arm's length?
Let's play bumper cars!
They're off! The unlikely clash of bear versus octopus versus beetle.
First blood is to the hungry bears. The Americans are still having trouble with their steering. The octopus is floundering. The Brits hope yelling will help.
Come on, Orange!
The Americans are getting the hang of their steering. He's actually hitting things now. Not that it was lit. Oh, the Russians are naturals. Another 50. And the octopus has found its feet. Tentacles, whatever. 2 in a row. Ooh, it's double trouble. 50 each, Britain and America. The Americans speed into another, and they're in second place. The Russians are superpowered, and they're still on top. But now they've got an octopus on their tail. It's 50, and those agile Americans are in the lead. But in this game, no one stays there for long.
It's a cheeky 20 for the Brits, but Lord knows how he can see. It's another one for the Yanks, and all three are neck and neck. And neck! You don't want to take him on.
Got that one.
It's the halfway point, and the game's been stopped so that for safety reasons, the bumpers can be repositioned in the middle, away from the barriers. The teams will restart from their centre positions, and the scores will pick up from where they left off.
Okay. They're off again, and the scores could hardly be closer. There's one right there. The Aquaholics are first to collect. They're using all the girth of their beast for that one. The Hot Rods miss one. But the Brits get it. The squid is vacuuming up the lot.
Oh, yes!
And another. The team are going crazy. And no wonder. Pike's a man on a mission. And he gets 2 at the same time. That's just greedy.
The Americans' pivoty middle gives them a sneaky sideswipe. Oh, and there's another big one for them. The Russians are out in the cold. They're being horribly outpaced in this half.
Ooh, the octopus snatched that one from the bear's mouth. This is almost getting indecent.
Those poor old Russians. The Americans are super hinged and sovereigns of the sideswipe.
And at last, the Russian bears get some honey. But it's all too late.
It's the end of the game and our highest scoring bumper cars yet. But the teams must hold their breath for a few moments to hear the scores.
I have the all-important piece of paper in my hands, and I can reveal the scores are the Russian Bears, 350 points. Do you want to translate? He doesn't know whether to cheer or not. The Hot Rods scored 480 points.
I like it.
And the Aquaholics scored 600 points!
So with that glorious flourish of tentacles, the Aquaholics romp home in first place for the big 3 points. The Hot Rods are flaming too. They come in second with 2, but it was no picnic for the Bears. The only thing in their hamper is the measly singleton.
So overall, it's a life on the ocean waves for the Aquaholics. They're out in the lead with 6 points, while the Americans and the Russians are still in Cold War stalemate with 3 points apiece.
So with a tie for second and third place, there's still everything to play for. But has the Russian Bears' Siberian monster got what it takes?
We're the Russian Bears!
The close-knit Russian team are extremely proud of their heritage, so it was only fitting that their donor vehicle was an old military transport truck left behind after the breakup of the Soviet Union.
It's better to use our own engines, transmissions, wheels, frames and so on.
Evgeny should have to operate during the race 3 pedals, 3 levers, up to 10 different knobs and levers, and it will look like he play on a piano.
The Bears pushed on, only to stall 3 days from the end when Max went AWOL. Despite his disappearance, the remaining Bears were still optimistic.
Да, я вполне уверенно себя чувствую, и, то есть, так как мы ее строили, ну, как бы с надеждой победить все-таки, я поэтому совершенно уверен в этом автомобиле и в себе, с тем, что я справлюсь с его управлением.
Day 30 and still no Max, but the vehicle was as finished as it was going to be. There was only one thing left to do.
Evgeny and Alexei, did you do all the hard work in the Siberian monster because Max ran away?
Да, Максим имеет тенденцию испаряться. Был Максим и нет Максима.
Max always tends to disappear at a very inconvenient moment. Here he is.
Да, но идея его,
he initiated all this. It was his technical idea. It was his technical invention and decisions, and we only performed it. So performance is ours.
This is my left and right hand.
And I want to ask Evgeny, because Evgeny's doing all the driving today. What makes you the perfect driver of this vehicle?
Водители здесь приблизительно все одного уровня, но размеры Максима и сиденья не позволяют им управлять этим автомобилем.
All drivers here have equal level of competence and expertise, but the sizes of Alexei and Max wouldn't really allow them to the driver's seat.
Well, that's an easy answer.
We would like to put an armchair there.
How confident are you that you're going to be going on and going into the sumo ring?
Я уверен, я думаю, что мы победим.
We are confident that we will win. We are quite sure of it.
Excellent. Well, very good luck to you.
Thank you.
Удачи вам.
If you thought those cars were cool on bumper car, wait till you see them on the roller coaster. When they're 50 feet up in the air, then blinded by fountains of splashing water. That's coming up after this. Two games down and 2 to go. The team that finds themselves at the bottom of the scoreboard after this next challenge will stand on the side, hear my laughter as they watch their vehicle die, die, die!
But which team is going for a roasting FMC style is anybody's guess. Have a look at the scores.
The Brits are going totally against national tradition by being in the lead. They have a proud 6 points and are leaving the Russians and Americans to resolve their differences at the bottom of the scoreboard, which they're sharing with 3 points apiece.
When people go to an amusement park and get on the roller coaster and get strapped in, they're safe in the knowledge that nothing will happen to them. But on our roller coaster, when our contestants get strapped in, they're safe in the knowledge that anything could happen to them here on Full Metal Challenge.
Our roller coaster is a stomach-churning adrenaline ride a third of a mile long. It's riddled with twists and turns, adverse cambered bends to try and dislodge drivers, tipping bumps to do the same, and our 50-foot-high teeters where the drivers must somehow keep their feet on the ground even though their heads are in the clouds. There's also a 3-way teeter which could tip them off any which way, but if they do come off track at any point they'll incur a 20-second time penalty each time.
The only sensible thing would be to take it slowly, so we've made it against the clock. Fastest time wins.
All right, Martin, welcome to Roller Coaster. Your team is in the lead. Have a good run. Start your engine.
It's time for Martin, the baby of the British team, to take the octopus joyriding.
Green flag is raised.
I love this game.
In their 3-ton beast, the Aquaholics will be glad of a bit of shock absorption from our water barrels.
And that's an amazing speed on the straight.
Now this is going to be interesting staying on around here.
Yeah, tough turn. He's having no trouble staying on that inverse bend.
Come on, Mark.
I guess that's where 8-wheel drive comes in pretty handy.
Really good. Don't go crazy.
Go on. Anyone would think he'd done this before. And that's a course record coming into the first staging post. Way to go!
Have a bath. First time for everything. No penalties.
This is a very good run.
He's doing great.
Big bang.
Bit of a squid there. I mean skid. Ooh, you don't want to get squirrely when you're 20 feet up in the air, though.
He needs to take it really steady over that bend.
The FMC course record is looking very shaky. Come on!
Not too quickly. Woo, look at it go!
Face On is certainly not the most graceful looking machine, but it's pretty darn effective on this course.
That was a great run. I'm waiting to be told the time, but I've got a feeling it could be a course record. Because as far as you were concerned, it didn't look like you came off at all.
I don't think I did, but I couldn't see. So.
No, because of all the water in your face. It's a mean trick. Okay, the time for the run was 1 minute 25, which is extremely fast.
Excellent.
There was one time penalty because you clipped the top of the bend. So that makes a total time of 1 minute 45, which is pretty tough to beat. Not that you needed to win this one.
That's him going slowly.
Fantastic result yet again for the Brits. Let's see how the Russians can do.
Evgeny, 1:45 is the time to beat. Good luck on this race. Start your engines.
The Siberian monster could struggle with its long wheelbase, but Evgeny's in the driving seat and he's not a man to let such details put him off.
Cross your arms and the legs. Green flags up. Ready? And here he goes.
There he goes. The crucial thing for the Russians is finishing ahead of the Americans. So don't tell us he's going to take it easy.
No, he went a bit back and then tipped. Good.
That's good.
That looks good.
Now in one of the competition's hugest machines, that is some driving to get round that bend.
That's good. That looks really good.
And he's powering it into the second teeter. Oh, but I think he's got the wrong gear.
Oh!
Oh, he's lost it! Oh, no! Get back on that horse, Evgeny!
All right, just restart.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
I was here.
Yeah.
Come on! That's it.
Same mistake. That's more like it. And a bit of water this time, too.
Bouncing!
And he's not going to be beaten by the small matter of our three-way.
2.5 times exactly. If he drives 120 miles across Russia in less than an hour, you know he's going to floor it over our 20-foot bridge into the fast final bend.
He's slower than the Brits, but the important thing is beating the Americans.
Oh, close to the top.
Ooh, he nearly popped a wheel over there.
Yes, the long wheelbase. Yeah. Yeah. This is good though.
Bit of a squiggly route on the tipping bumps.
Beautiful.
But he's home and dry. Well, dryish.
Fantastic.
200 ударов в минуту, нет?
Was that a difficult run?
Тяжело было, Женька, как ты сейчас? Я первый раз сейчас... Первый раз еду по таким препятствиям. Это очень интересно, но и немножко страшновато.
First time in my life, so it's scary.
What was the scariest bit?
Что было самым страшным? Ну, наверное, горка. Все-таки первая горка самая страшная.
Climbing, yeah, the first climbing was...
The first climb, yeah, because you hovered just on that bit. Oh. Okay, the time for the run
Время
was 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
9 секунд.
And no penalties. Which is very good, very good. And especially in a vehicle of this size.
It's down to America or Russia. Which team is going to join Britain's Aquaholics in sumo in the final round? Find out after this.
Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge. It's been an emotional roller coaster. It's the last run, it's the hot rods, and it all depends on them.
Okay, 2:09 is the time you need to beat to stay in this. Okay. Otherwise, I repossess your car and I incinerate it.
Okay, that's cool.
Have a good one. Best of luck to you.
Well, Jay seems very relaxed about the idea of being cremated. He's either very confident or he's in terrible denial. Okay. 2 minutes and 9 seconds to beat. They have an advantage over the Russians in terms of size. But it's hard work steering the double dub, and as we've seen, that could mean double trump.
Oh! Now this is the tricky bit.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. That's a quicker start than the Russians. Wow. And he's round that bend.
This is fun.
Oh! That was smart.
Ooh, but just lost it for a minute.
Oh, he's hit that.
They're ahead of the Russians coming into the first time point. That sumo ring is within their grasp.
It's soaking man. How's your engine with water?
Oh, we don't know, but it's good enough for that.
This is great driving.
It's perfect.
Oh, it's so light.
Jeez.
It's always like that?
Wow.
Oh, I was thinking it'd be less because you're so light, but actually that was pretty extreme. You can see how much work he's having to do just to stay on track. I bet he's wishing for some non-homemade power steering in there. Just stay around here in case he comes through.
I know, yeah.
Close to the edge.
He's okay, he's okay.
And these bumps are actually more vicious than they were. Whoa! This is very nice.
It's a good one.
Yeah!
I like it.
There's no doubt it's a faster time than the Russians, but is it enough? It will all come down to the number of time penalties.
That was some mean driving.
Very good.
Kidding.
No, well, I mean, it's great. It was good. Looked really good.
Why did it feel like hell?
Well, the car doesn't unsteer very well.
Yes.
It's coming around the
We've been told
off-camber
that.
turn.
Yeah.
It didn't unsteer as well as I would have wanted.
We saw you came off the course, didn't you,
A
at
little
one
bit,
point
little
there?
bit, yeah. Took a penalty there.
You've had a workout, haven't you, in this machine?
Yeah.
Suit on, no?
No, it was great. It was fun. I'd love to do it again. Can we go one more time?
I've got a feeling that we should bring the Russian bears in to
Yeah,
hear it as
yeah,
well.
good. Bears in here.
Because
Yeah.
it's going to determine quite a lot.
Penalty free.
Penalty free. Yeah, their time.
Only the second
2
time.
minutes and 9 seconds with no penalties. Your time for running the course was 1 minute and 32 seconds, which
Whoa.
is extremely fast. However, there were 2 time penalties, which means your total time was 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Hey, the Russians.
It's so close.
Good guys.
Congratulations,
Good guys.
Good job.
Hey.
Congratulations.
It's pretty self-evident, but it does something very, very interesting to the scores. So it's an astonishingly close race on the roller coaster. Evgeny's impressive driving keeps that huge Siberian monster on track and makes the difference between life and death for the Russians. The Americans lose out to them by just 3 seconds to finish in last place for the sorry single point. The Russians come in second for 2 points, and the mighty Aquaholics triumph yet again with a record-breaking run and another 3 points.
So overall, the scores look like this. And as we haven't had very many American teams visit our chimney, we've laid something special for dinner. Them.
So this is the part of the day where we get to say a few words of tribute to the Double Dub.
It's been a great car.
It is a great car. It's a different approach than some of the others took, and I'm glad we took this approach.
It's truly unique.
Yes.
2 cars for the price of 1.
Yeah.
Farewell, the Double Dub.
Farewell.
Long live the Double Dub.
Okay, I think this occasion needs a poem. Let's see. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I'm gonna burn your car! Yeah! The end.
Doesn't even rhyme.
Goodbye. Durable Double Dub.
Double Dub. It's the complete snub for the Double Dub, but for our 2 survivors, there's an even worse fate.
2 teams, 1 winner. Let's settle this thing with a sumo wrestling cars. That's coming up next.
Welcome back to Full Metal Challenge, and for tonight's heavyweights, the Aquaholics and the Russian Bears, it's all about to kick off. The Aquaholics started as they meant to go on in the bowling alley. It was more than 1 pin per octopus tentacle. They smashed down all 10. They were equally unflappable in bumper cars, swimming home to an easy second victory. And they put still more clear water between them and their opponents on our roller coaster, their record-beating run making it the hat trick. But all previous scores count for nothing now, because we're wiping the slate clean for sumo.
After a long day of stress, you need some relief, so how about hanging out with us as we watch 2 maniacs in hand-welded vehicles push each other into barbed wire and tire spikes? Hey, I'm feeling better already!
In tonight's heavyweight standoff, it's goodbye to the pleasantries and hello to brute force. The rules, as ever, shove your opponent entirely outside the ring, but keep an eye on where you're going, and may the best man win. In the blue corner, the unusual-looking octopus weighs just under 3 tons. 2 3.5-litre engines give a top speed of more than 100 miles an hour. It's a daunting machine to go up against, but 8-wheel drive does mean 8 tyres that could burst on our spikes.
In the red corner, the more basic Siberian monster comes in slightly lighter at 2.5 tons. Its 4.2-liter engine gives a top speed of 75 miles an hour, but it's really built for strength, with a super strong chassis and axles that should have no trouble shielding off the punches.
So who will emerge the champ in tonight's brutal Battle of the Beasts? The lean green fighting machine from the deep, or the red Siberian devil hewn from the Russian army's finest? Evgeny, do you have a strategy for winning in the Siberian monster?
Мы хотим сначала оторваться от противника, убежать
We
от
would
него,
like to run away from our competitor first,
и потом неожиданно атаковать его сходу.
and then to attack our competitor quite unexpectedly.
So get some distance and then thunk. Well, really good luck.
В самом деле, удачи вам.
Спасибо.
Okay, man, you've made it all the way to sumo. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a tough one. You're up against a pretty tough vehicle. You got any strategies on your for your victory?
I got a few strategies, but if I told you, then that would be telling, wouldn't it?
Oh, so I'm just gonna have to stand by and watch.
You're right.
Okay, well, best of luck to you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Each round of our gasoline grudge match will last for 2 minutes, or until someone is incapacitated or shoved out. And out means right out of the biggest black ring.
Let's play sumo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sumo! They're away and both quick off the start. Evgeny seems to be having trouble finding his gears, but the octopus doesn't. He's so fast. That thing flips a Yui like a car quarter his size. Awesome!
They're both trying not to let the enemy get behind them. The Russians are heading off to outer Siberia. The Russians are on the run. They need to get behind Octopus to stand a chance of shoving him out, but the Brits are just too quick.
And it looks like the exact opposite might happen. Go! They've got him! And they go all the way! The Brits have done it!
We'd call it cat and mouse, but it's more like elephant and rhino. There's a combined weight here of nearly 6 tons. But nothing's gonna put Pike off his stride. He sees the Russian monster in his sights, and he sends in the octopus to do its worst. And its worst is pretty bad.
Hello, Mr. Winner. Nice going.
We did it, guys.
Excellent. It was amazing to watch how you guys were chasing each other. I've never seen anything like that in this ring. What was your strategy?
I didn't want him to get me from behind, so I turned around as fast as I could, so I was facing him. And I think he knew that was his weak point, so he was trying to run away then.
The maneuverability of your vehicle in that ring was something else. It was really impressive.
No problem.
And then you got him. Wow. And boy, you sure pushed him out. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to watch. So nice going, man.
It was pretty good for me here, too.
Yeah, I bet it was. So congratulations, you guys. You can go home to your peers and tell them that you are the best.
Говорю, у него в моторе прям торчит.
What are you saying?
Это вот то, что хотели сделать.
We have our frame of the vehicle inside the engine.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think we need to do a bit of work on this, don't you?
Oh.
Yeah. The pay for the victory was the engine, yeah?
But they put it in you rather than you putting it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, congratulations, man. Yeah, good, well done. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, spinning, and then finally, yeah, like a good hunter, yeah, finally catch the duck. Well done.
There's no room for debate about this one. It's an absolutely clean sumo victory. The Brits tossing 3 tons of Siberian brute out of the ring like they're no more than a piece of fluff.
Cheerful losers for tonight's champions, the Aquaholics!
And we'll see you next time on Full Metal Challenge!
So the Aquaholics have octopushed their way through to the semi-finals. Next week, it's the last of our heats, and our 3 final teams from Auckland in New Zealand, Oklahoma in the US, and Bonnie, Scotland, will be fighting it out in the final games of our heats to see who will win the chance to stick around for more.